Dub dub. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Da dooby dooby da dooby dooby dub dub. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
The Dorkening and all its shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussion and or scenes that have adult content, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and or graphic language. The show is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The Dorkening and all its shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussion and or scenes that have adult content, graphic violence, nudity.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hot beer. Here we are live on The Dorkening. It's going to be a fun night. We just got through an awesome show with Still Token With. We had Roger Kabler, who's doing a Robin Williams tribute.
Yeah, how was that not open to the rest of the group?
What?
I mean, in his defense, I was on the train back here, so I would have not been able to join, unfortunately.
I'm in talks. We may do some other stuff with him. But
Nice.
yeah,
Sweet.
yeah. So speaking of that, we have James. I'm sorry, I've angered the James.
Oh, that coffee went straight decaf after that.
Yeah. Yo.
Hey,
Alex is here.
Hello.
So what's going on with you guys? The world's ending around us. We're trying to stay sane.
Not ending. Stop it.
We can all dream, can't we? Of our Mad Max world.
I love On Earth Day. On Earth Day is like the world's ending.
Happy Earth Day, everybody.
Well,
Make sure to look outside.
It
Don't
is-
go, but it's nice.
It is
stare
Earth.
out the window. Just there.
It
I
is.
used to be over there.
It's kind of Earth related because then the Earth can go back to normal. It's
Animals are loving it right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, Animals are loving it. The
Except for
wild
cats.
meow. The aquatic life is loving it.
The air quality is loving it.
Holy shit! Have you seen those pictures of L.A.?
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
India.
Well, yeah. What was the first time they've seen the Himalayas? Clear. Yeah.
Whoa! You see that big rock?
Where'd that come from? It wasn't there the other day.
Laura Potter says, hi, guys. William Pace says, what now, Leo? Chicken Little is not ending.
See, relax.
See, I knew there was going to be a sequel. Disney didn't fail us now.
I forgot they made that movie. Oh, poor Zac Efron. That's Zach. Was it Zach? No. Who's Zach?
The movie was okay until you think about it.
I mean, I understand they had to kind of make it like they had to Disneyfy it, and make it like actual to put in the theaters.
It was definitely the awkward tween years of Disney at that time making that movie.
Wasn't that like one of their first forays into like 3D animation that's not Pixar?
Yes. And I still remember that when they were promoting Zootopia, it's like, this is the first time we did anthropomorphic animals since Robin Hood. And it's like, wow, we're really not going to talk about Chicken Little now, are we?
That doesn't exist.
Like,
Oh,
nope.
did you hear that they're doing a live action Robin Hood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the animal version?
Yeah, all the furries are going to be loving that.
Yeah.
Just make them buff, please. Just make them super buff.
I don't even want Robin Hood. I want another sword. I want a live action of Sword in the Stone. Sword in the Stone. That one I always like that one better than Robin Hood.
I want a lot. If they were gonna do live action anything, I would
They're
want
doing
to
live action
see.
Lilo and Stitch. I'm like, come on.
Do Treasure Planet.
Oh,
There you go.
Do Atlantis. Do that live action.
Well, did you ever see the fan made or the Boss Logic poster for Atlantis with Tom Holland as Milo?
I think they need to pump the brakes a little bit with Tom here. Like, they really want to hijack it. Like, I know he's a hotness. He's Spidey. Cool. Man, he's not even Nathan Drake yet. Like, calm down. Like, just chill, everyone. Just chill.
Did everybody get their free copy of the Uncharted collection for free for PlayStation?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can download the Uncharted collection, Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 for free, and Journey on the PlayStation Network for free. And it's not one of those like you have to give back. No, it's yours for permanent. And the PlayStation Plus game this month is Uncharted 4. So you can literally get the whole Uncharted series for free.
Really?
And Journey if you want to get more artsy about it.
Yep.
But it's definitely a good play. I liked all those games. I had a very difficult, hard, unforgivable relationship with my PS3. And it died numerous times. And a lot of times it was when I was playing... I don't know how many times, but I had 4 Yellow Lights of Death on me. And as far as I know, I'm not even sure if it was the same console because every time I sent it and they said, oh, we're going to send a new one. And then they sent another one. And it's like, this oddly looks like the same one I sent in, but it can't be. It's resealed. And then that had the same Yellow Light of Death. So I think maybe someone at Sony was like, hey, guys, I'm going to send it right back. And I just kept getting it. There's a lot of the Uncharted games I never got to finish because right before I get to the end, death.
Yeah, no, I
for 2 and 3.
Uncharted 1 was tough because to do the grenade they had to use the motion control and the PlayStation 3. But they got rid of that in the re-release. They just had the normal arc like you had in the second one. And I remember playing. There was like one mission in the first Uncharted, which you're like on the jet ski, and you have to throw the grenades off the jet ski. And it's just like, oh, come on! Like I got so pissed that I didn't play that game. I didn't beat Uncharted 1 until it got on the remastered because I played 2 and 3 like right when it came out.
I'm still waiting for Naughty Dog to release either an Uncharted or Last of Us kart racing game based on those properties. Because they did to all their other ones.
I still have not played the Nathan Drake games.
Leo, like,
I'm
come
sorry.
on.
Did we talk last week?
We did. I tried a demo and it was like it didn't grab me. It was
Shut up. Go play it.
I mean, you can
It's free. All the games are literally free, and it's popular with literally everybody. Yo, you take this.
You literally have zero excuse right now to not give it a try. It's not going to cost you anything more than you've already spent.
Yeah, but it's going to take hard drive space and
Actually, it doesn't. It takes like
World's smallest violin. Download it.
Okay, so
You
what?
play as a literal cowboy that does nothing. You run around like you're like that game engages me more.
Actually,
Play Uncharted. What's wrong with you?
Actually, I'm playing around. I'm running around as a Spartan right now in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
All right, I heard that was pretty good. But no, I remember when Nolan North came to Rhode Island Comic Con. I made a point to go meet him, and he was like the nicest guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're Drake, and so like, and I remember when we were waiting in line that day, they announced the new Uncharted, like another Uncharted movie moving forward, and we asked him, like, what do you know about the new Uncharted? He goes, I really can't talk about it. He goes, but I remember reading scripts about it, and it looked like a really cool idea. And I said, if you don't Drake, would you want to be Sully? And he goes, I would love to be part of any part of those movies. So.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
So how do I get?
Weird if he was.
How do I get the free copies?
Just go on the PlayStation Store and just Uncharted Collection. It's just free. Just download it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will do
and
that.
the fourth one.
And if you have PlayStation Plus, you already get the fourth one for free.
I do not.
Go get PlayStation Plus for $8 a month, whatever it is.
Jeez, really?
Oh, Leo, what else you got going on, Leo? You can't go to any conventions this year.
No. And we were talking about that. So I bought an extra week's worth of vacation from work because I planned on going to extra conventions this year. Now I got to use up vacation time.
Well, can you sell that back?
I'm so glad about those down payments for tables.
You can't sell it. You used to be able to sell it back, but this is the first year that you cannot sell it back.
So now you get some extra time home with your time at home.
Yep. Yeah, actually, I'm trying to take a couple days soon. I was going to take them this week, but work's been crazy busy. It's been insane.
I don't know. My job was telling me that their auto department is furloughing auto adjusters because auto claims are down 60%.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's really driving.
And then the property claims down 20%. Which I don't get. More people are home, and insurance ensures stupidity. I figured the property claims would be higher because people are home doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't go outside to do so many stupid things.
It's your house, though.
Yeah, but have you... Okay, so I subscribe to this subreddit called Idiots in Cars.
Oh, shocker. Subreddit. No way.
Yeah. And it's crazy that how many times you see a picture of, empty street and two cars get into an accident. It's like people don't know how to drive.
That's why you don't put very large magnets in your car.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys, because people are stuck inside and everything, and at risk of their own stupidity, have you guys did you guys as kids used to play The Floor is Lava?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if that's what's going on with certain places that some insurance might have to get involved with. I don't know, maybe it's like grandma's old house, you're bored, you're with the boys, you want to play a good old game of The Floor is Lava.
See,
you heat up a crucible and put some rocks in it, and they're ready to make the floor lava.
See, growing up on a farm is dangerous.
Now you're thinking. Now you're getting there.
William Pace says
you're hitting the notes of my lyrics here. Just
William Pace's last console game he played was Captain America. Also, Mainframe Comic-Con online this weekend. There's going to be an online Comic-Con. Kevin Smith is part of it. But for the floor is lava, I was gonna say growing up on a farm is dangerous enough. So it's I didn't do games like that.
The floor is stakes. No, literally, just.
Yeah, actually, I was in. My grandmother had a old house. Like all my siblings like rented it, and that was like their first house that they stayed in, and it was being used for storage. And my grandfather had like an old pool table in there. And, I asked him if I could have it. I was young. I was like, 13 or something like that. So I'm trying to take it out, and I'm walking through the house, and my foot falls through the floor. And all of a sudden, I feel something grab my leg.
What?
Yeah. Scared the shit out of me. Old house. Think of, old farmhouse, like thinking, I don't know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre or whatever. Foot falls through, something grabs my leg.
Is this the one with like all the snakes?
No, this was actually a family of possums underneath the house.
So they're like, intruder.
Yeah, exactly.
Leo.
Yes.
We should have a segment of I never know what you're going to say. I'm enamored. You remind me of when my grandma would tell me of the fucked up things she would do in Mexico, where it would range from that's interesting to excuse me, grandma, the fuck. You want to hear one of my grandma's story?
Sure,
yes,
go for
please.
it. You hyped it up. Go for it.
All right, there was one of the stories my grandma used to tell me was she took a trip to Mexico with her friend to have her friend forget about her husband. And it was like, okay, that sounds like a kind deed to do. And she said, yeah, she was very upset. She found out her husband of about 3 to 5 years or so at that point turned out to be her first cousin.
Oh my.
So,
And I was like, that's a good idea. Go to Mexico. Yeah, get your mind off things. The hell, Grandma. Or the other time she told me that she used to have really bad choices of love interests, I guess, in her life. Because there was this one guy that was obsessed with her when she was a teenager and broke into her house and lived in their attic for months and would listen to them in between the walls. And she would say this all in the context of like a sweet old grandmother with like, anyway, would you like some cookies? The fuck, Grandma?
Okay, so you want a segment of where I come up with a crazy story from growing up?
I would just say like Farm Life with Leo or something like that, or
Okay.
just something, or just like, oh man, it's yeah, running around with a pool table and then a bunch of mongooses trap your leg, like
Possums. Yeah.
possums.
Yeah.
Possums.
You think they play dead or something?
Yeah.
We used to just play hide and seek in the old funeral home and just hide in the coffins.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's kind of morbid.
It was. I didn't realize it until I got older that we grew up in a much more Addams Family-like style than I thought at the time. Yeah, we would hide behind like embalming fluid and other stuff and play with cards before wakes.
Nice. Okay. So what do you guys think of HBO Max? Try to break the sigh of James.
I'm excited for Looney Tunes. Sorry.
Yes. Oh my God, Looney Tunes looks awesome.
What yo-yo talk?
Yo.
So you were trying to make a segue into something else we needed to bring up.
Yes.
And you kind of like totally skipped over it.
What did I skip
for
over?
like story time with Leo about this old farm.
Bring us back, Yo-Yo. What? Please remind me.
We were talking about things that were canceled.
Oh yeah, that was even better. You know what? My segues suck. San
No,
Diego.
you almost had it there.
I know.
The Leo stories.
And it was cutthroat too.
Yeah. San Diego Comic-Con. What the hell?
It was only a matter of time.
Yeah. Right now you have, instead of lines of geeks, you have lines of homeless people in Hall H, from what I've heard.
It's been 50 years, right, since they closed it before?
Yeah.
I mean,
But again, I mean, how many people go to Comic-Con? 500,000? Like, that's... You can't have a gathering that large at this point in time.
No.
It's not smart. And I'm glad San Diego Comic-Con made that decision and the state did it.
Yeah,
I will always give the benefit of the doubt to the business entity that is proactive and closes before the state makes them close.
Yeah, weren't they waiting for the state to say no?
They were waiting on clarification from the state if they can proceed at a limited capacity.
Oh God, I can only imagine what kind of like show that would have been if they tried a limited capacity.
So either limit the amount of people in the convention hall, limit the amount of vendors, limit the amount of guests. But I think it's with especially them, it's an all or nothing type of thing. You can't limit,
Yeah.
I mean, in just like everything else is changing, this is going to affect the convention scene very drastically. Conventions that are canceled because of this might never recover.
Yeah.
Well,
so do you think that, I mean, cons have been exploding. I mean, we've been talking about it for a couple of years now that there's too many conventions. Maybe this is just, nature's way of trimming the herd, Sorry. Life finds a way.
No, I mean,
God is kind of pissed with all the conventions, people. So, excited in the butt.
I mean,
1% gone.
Yeah.
No more cons.
Look at Ace was canceled because it was right at the beginning of this, and that was Massachusetts is the one who basically determined you can't do this.
Well, same for Northeast Comic-Con. Northeast Comic-Con was going to go ahead.
That's not a real Comic-Con. Let's just stop there.
It is a con. I mean, it gets pretty packed. Last year, I mean, Alex, you went with us. It was pretty packed.
Yep. I'm just not a fan of Gary.
It was also last minute when I walked in and realized that there was an entire hall that I missed. And I was like, this is a really small con.
Yeah.
And I went through the main doors and saw the actual big con, and I was like, what? It was the last 5 minutes, and I realized oh, there's a giant convention going on. It was the most surreal, why?
Yeah,
I can't argue. It's a nice little con, but it's never really high on my list of conventions.
No, but there's some good smaller cons like Super Mega Fest. Is an awesome con to go to. Scaricon.
Well, I think Scaricon's done.
Yeah.
I think he's.
Oh yeah, it's done.
He's dead.
Yeah.
I also do think that I also think smaller cons usually better memories.
Yeah.
Because I think smaller cons can get more intimate with one another, and I think that's also what happened with cons after getting so big and so corporate and everything else. It became less sincere. But when it's smaller, you can have a better one-on-one with people, and it's easier to talk to, and you can hear people. Because even if you meet a really great, influencer or creative in any way, and you want to have a good heart-to-heart, there's a lot of what? Yeah, what? Can I hear over the crowd? Yeah, okay. And then you have to get very close to them, which can't happen anymore. You can't get that close. You can't get this close to Jim Lee if you wanted to. That ain't gonna happen.
I think that's a problem also with cons is they've been overselling. I mean, how many times have we been in a convention where the fire marshal shuts it down while we're in there? I mean, there was a con we went to where it got shut down. It was so packed we actually went out the back door to try to get a breath of fresh air and had a trouble getting back in. If we didn't have our press passes, we wouldn't have been able to get back in because we had our stuff inside. But
it could be a cleansing of a lot of the larger cons.
Yeah.
I mean, this might help smaller cons to come back. More local cons like Springfield Comic Con is TBA.
Yeah.
I know some other smaller cons are TBA, but with San Diego out of the running picture, the real next large Comic Con is New York, and New York is still moving forward as is. So isn't Colorado Springs, and Rhode Island. Those are 3 large conventions that are moving forward. You have October for New York, so they have plenty of time to get something there. But
Yeah, Rhode Island, September, right? I think
November.
November. Okay.
So the question is, what are they going to do for these events? Like, if you're not, and I was talking to Jen about this. It's at the Javits.
Yeah.
The Javits right now is a triage hospital with 2,500 COVID beds. Like, is there a chance that hospital could still be up and running in October? Depends if there's another wave or another influx of cases. But at the same time, are you gonna? If you could tell me that you biohazard the hell out of that place, you think that with 1,000 people with COVID there, you'd go to that convention?
No. Well, I mean, it has, how much of a lifespan? Well, we really don't know how long it lives like on.
But know. Like,
I don't know how you'd purge a place that large after that.
72 hours on cardboard, 48 hours on like metal and stuff like that.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things like you're going to open the convention and, they normally have a lot of people. Okay, how many people are you going to let in? If you leave or you're not able to come back in, like once you leave, you're out. Like,
Are they going to start taking temperatures of people before they come in?
Maybe there'll be like a nice janitor whistling, cleaning up everything in September, just like he gets it all nice and clean.
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm very curious. Like I said, but then the question is now New York going to go now if, say, like New York continues on, and is that now the hub where all the big announcements are made?
Yeah. William Pace says Altered Reality canceled TerraCon last month and Rhode Island Comic Con year 1. I think it's probably not going to be until 2022 until we start seeing cons coming back like they were.
No, I think next year we will. I'm optimistic. I think
we need a vaccine first before any of that can happen.
Yes. I'm not saying that's not, but again, they're saying 18 months is worst case.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. We'll never know until they say what's out there. I think that I think that large gatherings won't take place for the rest of this year. I think I think you can kiss 2020 goodbye. I think everything will be 2021 because, hopefully by then, if there's a second wave, it's gone. Like
next year will be in hindsight.
Well, I think next year they'll have more data and more processes and policies that actually work, and I think currently some of the states that are hesitant to reopen, I'll say the state of New York, is they don't want to be the first. They want to learn from the other people's mistakes. They don't want to make them. Today, the governor even said, he's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not making a stupid mistake. I'm going to open smart. Like,
as well as you should. I mean, in Connecticut, it's the same way. I mean, we're going to, and I think you guys are the same, where masks are required. And,
I think that's going to be that's going to be the lifestyle for the next 2 years. Yeah. Get used to wearing a mask out in public.
Yep. If you can find them.
Like I joked around with Yo-Yo,
or
Yo-Yo and you guys beforehand. Me and Jen are going to Disney in September. I believe Disney will be open in September. In what capacity? I don't know. But I've already come to a realization I'm wearing a mask in Disney. I'm wearing a mask at the Disney resorts, at the restaurants, and in the parks. So it's just that realization. Come to it now. And I guarantee right now the holidays are going to be a complete and utter interesting time of life.
Black Friday is going to be ridiculous.
Well, and this is what some guy, I went to go pick up some food at a Cracker Barrel. The guy says, and I made the comment being like, I'm so glad this happened now because this happened in November. You think retail companies and restaurants would be struggling now?
Yeah.
What about then?
Oh, yeah, because now is the time a lot of retail companies are already running in the red.
Like and then Jen's with me too. Is like I would rather stay in my house like an extra till beginning of June, maybe the middle of June. That because once they let people out of the houses, if you in like the middle of August, hey, we have to go back in quarantine, everybody's gonna be like, no, we're not. Like you only get this. Leo, they're protesting the street for no reason because they just want to protest.
Okay, the people protesting. Yeah, let's not get into political stuff. There's money behind those protests.
No, but I'm saying like people are complying it now. But if you tell people, yeah, we're going to move forward, but then you try to pull everybody back in, you're gonna have a lot more resistance.
I don't think so.
Than what you have now.
If a second wave comes, the intelligent people will go back to their houses. The people that
they'll bitch and complain the whole time, but they will do it. That's the thing. Bitching and complaining and doing and being compliant are two different things.
The
just arrogance.
Well, arrogance and like I said, there's money behind those protests. They've linked some of them to what is it, Betsy DeVos?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's people with higher agendas. Oil is below oil's in a negative right now. They want people out there driving, going to their jobs. A lot of big companies are losing money, so they're going to do what they can to get people.
It's not even big company. It's the wealthiest people.
Yeah.
Who literally control everything.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can say, just for the fact not even political, but it's interesting of like the time we live in right now. It's like this will be very interesting when we have the bigger picture of what's going on, of like how it all happened. I know everybody wants to be in that moment right now, but still, like in this time, it's just like, what the hell is happening? It's so weird.
Yeah.
While we're in it, we got to do our best. That's all we can do.
Exactly, and we just need to stay smart, and just do what we can. Be
together.
Yeah, exactly. And support each other, which is tonight is, these live streams are, what they're about. They're about supporting each other. They're about dorking out with one another, talking about the stuff we love and, just supporting each other.
And what do you love?
What do I love you guys. That's what I love.
I like to keep it just professional, but that's all right.
Okay, so let's veer the conversation away from negativity and whatnot because we don't want to.
Your feelings, buddy.
Yeah, exactly right.
So HBO Max they've set a release date. I've got it written down here. It is May 27th, and they're saying that people that already subscribe to HBO now are automatically going to be upgraded to HBO Max, from what I've heard.
I cannot wait.
Yes. So here's the big question. What's going to happen to DC Universe? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be absorbed.
Yep. Because they're listing as Max Originals, they're listing Doom Patrol.
Yes. Give me season 2.
Yeah.
I was starting to come around to the idea of DC.
The new Harley Quinn cartoon, I can't talk enough about that.
That's fantastic. That's such good writing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Venture Brothers from the clips I've seen.
Oh, I've finally added that to my Plex, Venture Brothers. I need to start watching it.
Oh, you still haven't watched it yet?
Haven't watched it.
Okay, so I got excited for a second. Just like, okay.
I started watching episode 1 and I like it so far.
Isn't it like Johnny Quest? So it's like a clone of Johnny Quest.
Imagine Johnny Quest, and it just goes in all of the wrong directions. It's so good, and it just keeps getting better to the point where it becomes like, it's kind of like a self-aware parody of Johnny Quest. Then slowly it sort of becomes like its own thing, and it's so good. And like, it started doing stuff that Marvel did in the movies before Marvel started doing them. Like it's so good. Just watch this show.
Okay.
So when it's on Plex, I'll watch it.
Yeah, all the seasons are on Plex, including over 1,000 episodes of Looney Tunes. All the Looney Tunes.
Oh dang!
I saw that trailer for Looney Tunes.
Yes. Oh my God, it looks so good.
It looks good. I can talk. I watched the trailer and I showed it to Jen. I have a feeling. that Warner Brothers has the same problem that Disney has. Disney does not know what to do with the Muppets. Warner Brothers doesn't know what to do with Looney Tunes.
Okay.
I'm going to be up there with you just to see what it is first by only initial reactions to what this is.
Because how many times have they tried to make Looney Tunes relevant again, and it always just falls on its face?
Well, so
Space Jam 2, everybody can't wait. It's like,
So in going through, I've essentially gone through Looney Tunes. Let me go into it. So I've been working on a collection. Let me go into TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, like the old Looney Tunes are fantastic, and like the classic Looney Tunes are great.
Yeah.
It's the modern Looney Tunes.
So Looney Tunes, I have it started in 1929, and it really went on strong until, where are they? 1969 is when it kind of stopped. And then they released an episode in 72, an episode in 75. So it went in spurts, 1980, they released 4 episodes.
I remember you had the Looney Tunes movies that were just like compilations of like the greatest hits.
Exactly. Yeah. A matter of fact, I have those movies I need to add as well.
Like Quackbusters?
Yeah, Quackbusters. It was like the Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck movie where literally it's Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck trying to make a movie, and they just showed like it's like a clip show.
Yeah.
But that's the problem though. Like, I want to see newer stuff from when I saw Looney Tunes and you showed up for Looney Tunes. I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. But then it's like you've been burned by Looney Tunes in the past.
We have so in the 90s they were doing something good. You had the baby
Space Jams.
You had the baby Looney Tunes.
That did not go over well with people.
No, it was a good series. Tiny Toons, yeah. You had
Tiny Toons was great.
Yeah, Tiny Toons was fantastic.
Yeah.
But again, that was Steven Spielberg was on that. That was also coming off the heels of Animaniacs, Freakazoid.
Yep.
Warner Brothers couldn't make anything wrong.
Yeah.
For Kids WB. But again, that's not Looney Tunes. That is not Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig. That was like an offshoot of that. It's like Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
Muppet Babies was huge. That really, really, truly wasn't the Muppets.
Yep.
So
this trailer
due
though,
to the popularity of Rugrats.
Yeah, exactly.
So this trailer, it looked like class. They were mixing classic Looney Tunes with kind of like Ren and Stimpy-ish, right? Not really Ren and Stimpy. What am I saying?
It was kind of. It looks like it's pre Chuck Jones era.
Yeah.
Where like I do kind of like that they gave Bugs like the yellowy gloves. I like the style they're going for. Still a bit weirded out by what looks like Toon Boom animation, where some of the lines look a little bit too clean. Where it just looks a bit more like it's being puppeteered rather than hand animated. Though I hear it is traditionally animated in some aspects. But I don't know. I'm wondering, I don't know, from like the Twitter accounts I've been following, is that seems like there's a few people who actually work on the show seem to be very excited for what's coming out because it looks like a lot of the animators are having fun on it. So maybe that's a good thing.
Well, maybe they went back to the classic Looney Tunes of just tell a 8-minute story and not have these long 30-minute episodes.
Because that's how Looney Tunes is a clean slate every time. We understand the archetypes, but you can throw them in any setting. That's the point of Looney Tunes.
But it's slapstick, quick comedy, which you had to watch again and again, and you sometimes would miss a joke. And it's also that slapstick, more violent animation, especially back with Chuck Jones.
Mixed with Groucho Marx type humor.
Exactly. So you had that quick dialogue, that witty dialogue. You had action. You had a lot of slapstick. That's what I think of Looney Tunes is that slapstick. Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season, duck season. Like that quick humor that you could miss, and you have to watch it again. Like
I also think one thing that I think is a big problem with like more modern interpretations of Looney Tunes is that as everyone like remembers they're doing very quickly and all that, is that I think people are forgetting the pacing of like when it slows things down for the sake of comedy. Like when like if Bugs ran into a room, while a monster chasing after him, he'll pop right back up and goes like, "Hey, don't go in there. It's dark in there." And then he runs away. It's quick, but it just has enough pacing in between the speed of humor. And I think a lot of more recent ones, from the live action stuff to some of the other shows, excluding the Looney Tunes show where they were like roommates.
That's when like Lola Bunny, was Christian Wiig was in it. Like they actually had like that was that's what I'm talking about. Like they tried new things, and it just doesn't like. Looney Tunes should be timeless to a point where you don't need to modernize them. And I always feel like they try to. It's the same thing with the Muppets. I understand the Muppets are a different animal. You have to, because they're always in current times or in our world. But Looney Tunes can be kind of encapsulated in their own world, and they don't have to. I don't want to see like Bugs Bunny with a cell phone. Yeah. Like I don't want to see them
unless it's for a joke.
But like, and that was the thing. Like in the one where they're like roommates, him driving a car, and like on a cell phone, it's just like, what? Like, what am I watching here?
So it says the new series will include 80 11-minute episodes.
Those were Looney Tunes. 10 to 12 minutes.
And also coming to HBO Max, Jellystone from Warner Brothers Animation includes Yogi Bear, Boo Boo, and also The Fungies, a prehistoric comedy with Stephen Neary, produced by Cartoon Network Studios. And tuned out from Academy Award from Robert Zemeckis.
If it's not a Roger Rabbit sequel, I'm.
It says it's a half-hour hybrid live-action animated comedy. Things go a little cartoony for Mac when he starts seeing iconic cartoon characters, but they're not just there for laughs. They're helping him get through a very rough patch in his life.
So this is like the series,
like 12
after school drug special.
I don't know. I'm so tired of like quirky animated character comes to real world to help someone with a lesser problem. Oh my god! I remember how there was a lot of like death threats, I think, in the theater when I saw the Sonic movie, when like the cop character was like, you know what, I think I'll stay in this town, and like there's like kids in the theater just like, shut up, get back to Sonic, we don't care about you.
Such a good movie.
So I have faith in it. It looks decent.
Can I ask, you said one of them was Jellystone?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's interesting with Yogi Bear. I like Yogi Bear. I even have like a little thing next to me.
So you like the movie with Dan Aykroyd and Justin Timberlake?
That never happened.
So I don't know if these are continuing series. No, this is so Max Originals. They're listing Adventure Time, Distant Lands, Close Enough, Doom Patrol. Expecting
Close Enough.
Close Enough.
That's finally getting released. Holy shit! That shit was announced like fucking forever ago. It was the guy who did a regular show. He made a brand new show called Close Enough. It was going to be on TBS like 2 years ago now, maybe even longer. And there's trailers for it and stuff out there. It's his adult show and it's looks fun, but it was going to have the same humor as regular show did, but for adults.
Yeah, so it says from J.G. Quintel, creator of the Emmy Award-winning regular show, comes a surreal animated comedy about a married couple, their 5-year-old daughter, and their 2 divorced best friends, roommates, all living together on the east side of Los Angeles. Their life may not be ideal, but for now, it's close enough. Also listed for originals, Flight Attendant, Gossip Girl, I guess she's coming back, Legendary, Let Them All Talk, Looney Tunes Cartoons, Love Life, The Not Too Late Show with Elmo, On the Record, Raised by Wolves, and Search Party.
Oh yeah, they own Sesame Street now. That makes more sense. Like, why the fuck does Elmo have his... yeah, that makes sense.
What Coke fame producer will come up with this week? Ooh, can that be a show in itself? We asked like what a producer wants to produce and what he can get his hands on.
Hold on. Okay, I need to watch this just for the bizarreness. Legendary. What would you guess is what Legendary is about?
Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother.
No.
Wait for it.
Is it about a A cow.
It's about the underground ballroom community. All that you want to know. Pulling directly from the underground ballroom community, voguing teams, aka houses, must compete in unbelievable balls and showcase sickening fashion in order to achieve legendary status. James.
Yes, James.
The only reason I really want to get HBO Max is because they have all the Doctor Who available. They bought the rights, the U.S. streaming rights for Doctor Who once they're off BBC America. So they have all the old Doctor Who. That's what I want.
I'm down for that. I'm down for some Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I couldn't check the last series. I ended up with Capaldi. Now I have nothing against the new. I have nothing against the new person. I haven't checked out anything yet.
I've tried to watch the new series with the new Doctor. She is good. I'm not saying. It's such a departure from what was going on. I'd probably have to watch more of it. I know this past season they did a lot more of the callbacks to some of the older Doctors and a lot of their older storylines.
I really hate when they're starting to get over reliant on that shit instead of standing on their own, because it doesn't make it feel like a legacy. It just makes it feel like, hey, remember this? Hey, remember this? Hey, remember this?
Well, the thing is with and this is what I think the problem is they had so much original story with the new Doctor that people got lost because they were like the last 4 Doctors. All their stories kind of they had not really callbacks, but they had a more of I'm trying to think of the words more of an interconnected universe that everybody who the Doctor was, he would bebop time and space, but he knew what it was and who it was, and if he needed help. And some of the storylines they had that went from Tennant to Smith to Capaldi all paid off at the end of the day. And with her, it was you're not going to see any Daleks, you're not going to see any Cybermen, you're not going to see any villains, creatures, nothing that you saw in the other things. We're going to make new monsters. We're going to start making his own lineage for her. We're going to do all this thing. And it did reach rated, but people are like, well, we want the Daleks. We want Cybermen. Those are the villains that challenge the Doctor. You think of the Doctor, you think of these villains. And this is why, because they had a new showrunner this year, they pushed that. And then they brought back the Master, which was awesome. And they kind of brought back different characters that were oh, great. They're back. They're still in it. Because I think people are saying that they felt like they're doing so hard to separate it. New showrunner, new Doctor, new kind of direction they want to go with the show, that there was such a hard break between the other Doctors and the new one that they separated the fans from it a lot. Because I remember watching it with Jen, because we went to we were in North Carolina. We went to the premiere of the new season because I was I'm invested. I want to see it. And I left there and I was I don't know how I feel about this. Not in a negative way, but Jen was I don't get the regeneration. I don't get the TARDIS. I don't get the Sonic Suture. There was things that she didn't get that even in the first episode they didn't explain well. And then we just couldn't find the other episodes from there and then kind of lost interest.
So you guys remember when they did a new version of Batman for Cartoon Network? It was short-lived, but it was called Beware the Batman.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. I tried watching it. I didn't care for it.
I think that's exactly what James is basically describing, because when they did that show, they just basically threw out all of Batman's rogues gallery that people are familiar with and brought in all of his obscure villains to be the namestay in this version.
That was the one with the weird-looking Joker, right?
No, that was Batman.
No, that was the Batman. Was a 3D one. This was in 3D.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Has any of you guys ever checked this out once before? Well, they had Professor Pig. They had Anarchy.
Oh, so the B, C, and D level villains.
Yeah, they had all the characters that you're not as familiar with. They made Alfred from a book 1 version of Batman where he's a secret agent with guns, and which I think would be a conflict of interest with Batman, but I think they had Katana was also a character within the universe, and he was almost having her as the Robin of the show. And yeah, it from what you're describing, it sounds like you kind of need a little bit of your jelly with your peanut butter because people enjoy the peanut butter, but it's just like you like the jelly.
So you bring that up, and this is where my soapbox is going to come in handy right now. Is I brought up what was those, Leo? Show them up, put them up, Leo.
Okay. So
nice.
I got year 2 with the McFarlane covers.
So nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Delivery from my local comic book shop.
So my big soapbox right now.
Yeah.
Get down.
I'm a fan of the Tim Burton Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Thanks for joining the show.
But again, and this is why people are like, "Oh, Tim Burton sucked," and Johnny Depp, blah blah. I'm always going to be a fan of reinventing a character and reinventing a story. The reason I'm not taking anything away from Gene Wilder and the 1971 Willy Wonka. I'm not. I grew up on that. I think it's fantastic, but I think it was extremely unfair for that movie to be that much criticized because of that. I thought Tim Burton's materials were a lot closer to the books, and that was evident in watching the movie and some of the scenes that were in it. They very much were trying to do, Wonka and the Great Glass Elevator, and the storytelling and the visualness of that movie were awesome. They're very Tim Burton, and it's what I expected. What irritates me a little bit more about it is when they announced Taika Waititi is doing another Charlie and Chocolate Factory for Netflix, and it's going to be animated, and it's going to be episodic, and it's going to include both books. And everybody's like, "Oh, good," all this stuff, and I'm like, "What's the difference? Is it just because Taika Waititi's on is a really good director, and he's going to bring a new image and a new look to this movie, to this story?" Like, I don't know. It irks me to a point, and the same thing about like the 2016 Ghostbusters movie with the girls. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic telling of that story. They took a new idea and ran with it with tools and ideas they've already had. I just think in rewatching Charlie and Chocolate Factory, I sat there with Jen and I was laughing and I was like, I forgot how good this movie was because of all of the hate that is rained down, like how Willy Wonka looks like Michael Jackson and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, it's a guy who makes candy who lives with Oompa Loompas in a factory, doesn't get human interaction. How do you expect them to interact with people? Like in some of the smaller subplots they had on there were directly from the books. And if you read more about the books, there were chapters that he had to omit because they were like not children friendly. The original name for Mike TV was like Herpes something, like Herpes Smith, like herpes, like for your mouth. That was the name of a kid. And it's like, and it was interesting when you read more about it, how the estate of Roald Dahl was like, we have final say on the director in the script because Roald Dahl hated the 1971 Willy Wonka with a passion because it wasn't his book, because they took parts of the book and made a movie. So I just feel like, and you're getting that now with the reboot culture, because I understand Hollywood's running out of ideas. I get it. But at the same time, tell me a different story with the characters there. Isn't that the point of like literary heroes? It's the story of the hero, just input a different name, a tragic hero, like all that stuff. Like that's what you learn in literature. Like, what is it? Star Wars is what again? It's the what story but told in space?
The hero's journey.
Yeah,
exactly. Like
the hero with 1,000 faces.
But it's like, that's just a different spin. It's Seven Samurais is, what is it? But like, it's just a different retelling. And I think because it's a franchise that we love and we're passionate about. But again, if you like the story, then why don't you give the movie a shot?
No, I totally agree. We're watching.
Here's my soapbox.
Okay.
Putting up to the side.
I do have an answer for that too.
I just want to say, to tune in on what you're saying. We started watching Get Shorty, and I never gave it any mind because I thought it was, taken off of the John Travolta movie, which was not so good. But we started watching it, and apparently it's based off of the book that the movie was based off of. It has nothing to do with the movie. The movie went in a completely different direction. And the TV show, which has Chris O'Dowd from IT Crowd, totally awesome TV show. We're on season 2 right now. But it's, just a different retelling of, or more accurate retelling of the book.
Like, how many times have they retold Batman?
Yeah.
Like,
A lot.
Yep.
Spider-Man. Like, what's the difference between that and that movie?
Yeah.
I think it also has to do with, of course, that everyone's going to compare it to it. It's because it's the second time that's being reinterpreted as a film, and everyone knows the intermediate is like, oh, it's going to be that one. The third one's definitely going to break that, because after a while, after there's like 3 times there's different versions, people might, after this version, people will appreciate the Tim Burton one and everything else, because now because at this point, everything that's ever existed in any form of literature is essentially a ransom note, because everything is just a taking of something else or a retelling of the same ransom note. Because, I think I really didn't like the Amazing Spider-Man films. I really didn't like them. I watched it in the theater, and I gave it a chance. I really was into the whole idea of, I liked his new suit. I liked the idea that it was going to be a teen Spider-Man. They were going to do all these things. But goddamn, they really screwed the pooch, because what they do, they retold the same story we heard before, and not in any sort of innovative way.
They changed who he was as a person, though.
That too. It was an innovation in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
What's a better way to innovate on an origin? You get Spider-Verse. They told the story time and time and time again, and we still okay, we got it, but it's a little bit different each way.
They added humor to it too, okay, one last time, and each one's okay, one last time, how they're telling.
But they still told the origin again. We all know how it happens. But even with the Snyder Batman, they still couldn't help themselves showing that oh yeah, did you also know Bruce Wayne's parents died in alley? I don't care at this point.
Well, you needed
I would even say to his face that I'm glad they're dead. God, I don't care. Well, probably not. Knowing what he can do, but still,
you needed the.
I know he won't kill me, but I know I won't be able to do many things afterwards.
But if he didn't have that scene, you couldn't have the Martha scene at the end.
I'll get fucked.
You show the gravesite. That's all you had to do. You don't need the slow motion watching.
It's almost like context clues help a narrative that we already know. It's
what Spider-Man the Far From Home movies have been doing. They haven't shown Ben Parker getting shot or getting killed or him getting his powers. They're just, how long have you had these powers? About 6 months. And then you see the Ben Parker bag and the theory that he knows all these pop culture movies because he watched them with his uncle before this.
I do kind of wish that Far From Home would bring it up only a little bit more, just because I think it coincides a little bit with his grief going on with the premise, if you haven't watched it yet. Also, I was really peeved at the non-directed Michael Bay version Ninja Turtles when that was announced and all that. I really didn't like what they're going with, but I let it go soon afterwards, because the realization is how many times have there been interpretation of Turtles at this point? How many times? How many times?
I like the TMNT version, the TMNT movie that came out with Chris Evans as Casey Jones and Sarah Michelle Gellar as April. I thought that was really interesting. I liked that. I saw that in theaters.
Yeah.
But I remember I made my girlfriend go at the time, and she wasn't happy with me because she's you're really taking me to see a cartoon. I was like, yes, I am.
And that's where you left her.
Have you seen Batman and Turtles?
Yeah, I saw that.
I definitely want to.
Yeah, that's really good.
I'll be right back. My battery's dying, so keep talking.
Okay.
I was just gonna say on Ninja Turtles, where it's just oh, nice.
Yeah, I got the another order from my local comic book shop. So just real quick, support your local business. As you know, every show is brought to you by the Deadly Grounds Coffee. You saw the ad in the beginning. But support your local comic book shop. You know, they need help right now, so call them up. See if they're doing deliveries. Mine, you know, the owner lives down the road, so I'm trying to do an order like every 2 weeks now. Since new books aren't coming out, I try to find something to order, and he just drops it off. I pay him by PayPal, and he just every now and then he just drops.
Leo,
off the bag.
see if you can get me Ghostbusters Year One.
Ghostbusters Year One.
Yeah,
I'll ask him if he has it.
So there's 3 issues out right now. It's 1, 2, and 3, and the 4th issue I got to order.
Okay.
It basically is that first year before they get shut down.
Yep.
From all the Ghostbusters point of view.
Huh.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all I was gonna say is that I think if a character goes along and it's popular enough that we understand the fundamentals of what that character is, and as long as it can keep, because I really enjoyed that Nickelodeon 3D Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, because I think that's as good, right up there with the original Teen Titans.
Well, that was really good because that also brought in all the Turtles.
And all the stuff from the comics, all the obscure stuff, all the fun stuff, all the weird stuff. And, and then they're going to do it again. They change the ages of characters. They keep, and it's at this point where it's like, why even be bothered anymore? It's fun to see like it keep going on. Yeah, some will end, but good stuff will always carry on. I mean, look at Batman. There's a lot of stuff in Batman that was made in one interpretation that's brought back into another, and they'll keep bringing back the cool stuff. I mean, that's what happened with Doctor Who. We bring back all the cool stuff. And I think one of the biggest ones also as a good example, like right now, has got to be Sherlock Holmes. Because we have Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch, and we also got Cumberbatch. I love that guy. I was just joking. But I also really like the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes film, because that is one of the best unofficial Batman movies I've seen.
Well, that, and I also feel like that's probably one of the best casting of Moriarty.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Between the Sherlock and Sherlock is unbelievably perfectly cast. It's not even funny. And the Sherlock, funny. It is kind of funny, but even like, you're right. I mean, I'm trying to compare them. Like, it's very hard to compare them, just due to the fact that even the Robert Downey Jr. one, you have Stephen Fry as Mycroft. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Like, when you have like certain casting like that, you're like, this is fit. Like, and you're right. It's just a different telling of the story.
But you don't even think of them as the same thing at times, because it has a distinct view about it. Like, when you think of the Sherlock Holmes one, you think of the music that plays in the background, the old-timey London steam and all the cobblestones and all that, and then you cut right back to the modern Sherlock, where it's very, bit more, like, it's very distinct. Very distinct.
That first one, The Case in Pink, I think I've watched that episode, the pilot movie, because I love how they're all like 95 minutes long, which is fantastic. I think I've watched...
I always forget what I watch, where I'm just like, oh no, I have another 10 years to go on this.
I think I've watched it so many times, but every single time I watch it, I'm always like, look, I get like certain shows that you put on, like movies, that when they come on, you just watch them. Yeah. Like Dark Knight is one that if I come across, I always kind of like leave it on. But like same thing, like I was like, oh, you've never seen Sherlock before? Well, let's watch the first episode, and I'll put it on, and they're like, oh, okay, that's cool, and they'll go on their phone. I'm sitting there like,
this is why I get anxiety of like, I want to put something on the background while I'm doing other stuff. Okay, let me find a movie that won't hook me so I can work on other things. Oh no!
What did I do?
I'll just put Iron Giant on the background. I'm not going to cry or worry about it. Nope. Okay. Nope. Not that one. Okay. And then I spent like a whole hour searching for stuff, and it's like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
I need to admit, I've never seen Iron Giant.
Hang up, end this call, show right now, and put it on your Plex and watch it.
It is on my Plex.
It's very unacceptable that you haven't watched it yet. Like, seriously,
I've been meaning to watch it because I hear it's like a totally unofficial Superman story. That's why I put it in the DC animated universe.
No, just watch it. Just watch it.
God,
just watch it.
It is the best like animated movie in the last 20 years.
Really?
The best.
Better than Akira?
Just watch it, please.
Just watch it, man.
Watch it.
Okay.
It's one of those. That movie came out like, oh my god, it's such a good. It's Brad Bird too.
Right
So
before Incredibles.
Yeah.
Also, James, have you seen Klaus?
The Netflix one?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my god, that's so good.
There was
Okay, you like Klaus?
Yes.
Okay. You want to know there's something up to that quality? Go watch Iron Giant.
Okay.
Also
I've been
cast
meaning
too
to
with
watch
Iron
it.
Giant.
I've been meaning.
What was it? Watch Mojo had a top 10.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Had animated movies that were bomb, but they were like critically acclaimed, and Iron Giant's won.
Yep.
But they have like Titan AE, Treasure Planet.
Titan AE. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Though I hated that alien more than Jar Jar Binks. Oh my god. Does anyone remember that thing with the big like round eye frog thing?
I remember stumbling upon that movie, and I'm like, what am I watching? And I kind of was like hooked on it because it was like, oh, they destroyed Earth. So what they're trying to find this machine that will create a new Earth. But like the aliens that destroyed Earth, I'm like, I'm kind of want to see where this goes. Like just that kind of concept was like cool. Like there's this thing to make a new planet. Like Genesis. Here's Genesis.
It's also again just like not that it's a Disney property, but if you're gonna make a live action remake of a cartoon movie, Chinese doesn't seem like a bad choice. I mean, hell, that's already happened with Dragon's Lair on Netflix. Though I already think look, a lot of people are getting really mad about the whole like Ryan Reynolds playing Dirk the Daring for the new Dragon's Lair movie, and seems like Don Bluth is involved in some way. Okay.
Yeah, Don Bluth is 100% involved in this. He's been trying to make this movie for like 5 years.
Yeah.
But can we all just acknowledge it seems like the elephant in the room that no one seemed to be thinking of yet? There's probably going to be animation in the movie. There's going to be like a spell or something that hits, and they're going to be animated or something at some point or some segment in the movie. Because why would they go this far without, making a nod to that in some way?
Well, you're activating trolls. Everybody has to trash everything that's like not out yet.
No, yeah, I'm looking forward to
Looney Tunes, as you said.
When I heard that got full funding or got picked up, I was like, I'm ready to go. Like, let's do this.
Me too. Kind of went off subject a little bit, but yeah, they. What were the other movies you're listing off about that bomb that were still critically acclaimed?
Wait a second.
Treasure Planet.
That
had sequels and a show planned.
Yeah, and that came out. They said that came out against Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. That was that same weekend.
Fair fight, right?
Totally. I don't think they did any anime stuff. But it was all like you're sitting there like, that was a good movie. How did that not do good?
Well, that's kind of how it looks, but also
El Dorado had to be on there somewhere.
No, it wasn't on there. Because I think Road to El Dorado is one of those movies that
do people like Sinbad?
I love Sinbad.
Okay.
I thought Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
She was on point with like Hades from Hercules. Like that's how
the way she moved was perfect in that movie. Like all like the weird misty shit. That was
also, by the way, I don't know. Is anybody watching DuckTales other than me?
I haven't had any ability to. I would if I could.
I've watched a handful of episodes.
So the third season, they introduced Rescue Rangers.
Oh yeah, I saw like a picture of that. That excites me.
No. The whole episode is they're in the background. The whole episode, like they show Gadget being like created because it's like a smart ray, and it shows them like throughout it, like building the ship, and they have the theme song of Rescue Rangers playing in the background. It is awesome. So they've established in DuckTales there were gummy bears at one point in time because of the whole episode of like the gummy bear formula.
Gummy bears.
Yep. So Darkwing Duck was a TV show in DuckTales, but there was an episode in which they were going to make a gritty movie called Darkwing.
Yeah.
And the original actor turns to the villain in Darkwing, the orange villain who's like the opposite of Darkwing. So now Darkwing's a real crime fighter in Duckburg. And then they've also introduced Tailspin's villain and where Tailspin occurs. And now they have Rescue Rangers confirmed.
Nice.
Oh, and they also have Goof Troop confirmed.
So now
Roxanne is canon.
So now they just need to introduce these shows.
That's the talk is Disney's going to start reintroducing these shows. But in one of the episodes, they're listening to Powerline from a Goofy movie.
Oh yeah, he was in like the family photos. I saw that clip.
Oh yeah, Max said there was that one and stuff like that. But it's like Goofy was in there from like the outfit from Goof Troop. It was, and they actually had an episode where like you see them wearing their old school DuckTales outfit. So Scrooge is wearing the blue jacket in like the top. It's so good. It's such a good show. Like. Seasons 1 and 2 were on Disney Plus. Realistically, I've been watching with Harrison, and so we've been watching that a lot. So
does Disney Plus have all the episodes?
They have all the episodes up to the end of season 2, and season 3 just started. They're like on episode like 4 or 5 of season 3.
Okay, but I can watch season 3 on Disney Plus.
No, but if you have cable and you have Disney on your cable, you have a login, so then you can watch on their app.
Yeah, no, I have Hulu.
James, have you watched Owl House?
I have not.
Watch Owl House.
Okay.
Did you like Gravity Falls?
I love Gravity Falls. Oh my
then
God,
watch Owl House. Watch Owl House. I'm not giving you any context. Go watch it.
That's a show, Gravity Falls. We're so off topic. I'm okay with it. Gravity Falls is that show I kept seeing clips of and people talking about it and then saw it at conventions. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a deep dive into it. And what actually got me into it was the Nostalgia Critic did a whole his whole Halloween thing is Nostalgia-ween. And he did a whole 2 or 3 episodes about Gravity Falls. And I'm like, I really need to watch the show. And it's only 40 episodes. And it's on Disney Plus. And it's such good writing. It's such a funny show. The animation's great. It's like an all-star cast to a point where I looked at Jen and I was like, I want to be Grunkle Stan for a convention. I just kind of want to be that, or I want to be Seuss. Come on, guys.
You could probably do a Bill Cipher thing, just like a little baby one.
Yeah,
in your arms,
and especially when you and there's awesome heart-wrenching episodes in there too. You're just sitting there being like, what am I watching? It's awesome. Have you watched it, Leo?
I have not.
Yo.
I have.
Yeah. It's really good, but that's also why it's like, if you like that, go watch Owl House.
And the cool thing, Gravity Falls is very much like X-Files for kids.
And where's Owl House?
And Twin Peaks for kids.
And 100% Twin Peaks for kids. And
also, I was also going to say is the first time I caught wind of Gravity Falls was someone gave me a pirated episode via flash drive. Sorry, I didn't pirate it. Please don't get mad. But when I got it, I watched it, and it infuriated me. I was so angry about it because it was similar to an idea I had at the time. But it pushed me to innovate my idea. Now that's still what I'm working on. But oh my God, it's such a good way to do that show. It's really good.
Real quick, Chris mentioned that PlayStation has the Disney Afternoon Collection available.
Yeah, so you can get
it's like DuckTales, Rescue Rangers.
Are you watching Gravity Falls right now? What are you doing?
No, I'm getting that list for you guys of best animated movies that bombed.
Oh, okay. I
So
thought you
on
were just
their-
like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Gravity Falls right now.
Nope, they have on here. I'll let you go. They had Missing Link,
I want to see that movie.
Final Fantasy.
I didn't care for that.
I don't think anyone really. That's divisive.
Flushed Away,
I like that one.
Yeah,
Black Cauldron.
it's been a while since
Mixed.
I've seen that.
I think that might be actually better of a live action movie if they really wanted to do it.
Road to El Dorado, like Yo-Yo said.
Boom.
There you go.
Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah,
That was a good one though. Like how
Yeah.
did that?
I can imagine it bombed
Well-
because no one really.
Yeah, the list is bombed, but was good, right?
That movie was weird just for a second. It's just like I loved it up until it got to the kids part because I didn't care about the children. they were just like, oh my god, it's up to us to save the day. It's like just no,
Go
please,
away. Go.
please.
And then
You're the least
it was
interesting
Osmosis Jones.
thing. Wow.
Chris says the PlayStation, the Disney Afternoon Collection is $19.99. Comes with DuckTales 1 and 2, Tailspin, Rescue Rangers 1 and 2.
Yeah, what was I gonna say?
six
But I know you
games.
can get DuckTales remastered. That I want to get and play.
Yeah, I have that already on Steam. It's pretty good. Life is like a hurricane. Here.
Now it's gonna be in all our heads now.
I never
There's
played the
lasers,
games.
Airplanes. It's a duck blur.
Blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales.
Woo!
All right, I think that's a
Nobody
great
else?
way to end the show.
Yeah.
Right there.
I'm
just
shocked
saw
nobody
the
else
infinite.
joined in. Alex, give us a woo woo.
Woo-hoo.
Now he's gonna curl in the ball. He's like, it's in my head. It's in my head.
Why does my inside itch? Ah,
I actually have that.
it's trying to go out, but all I want to do is get in.
I have the DuckTales song on one of my playlists for Spotify.
Oh, it's on my running mix.
Yeah.
Just
Anywho,
you really want an earworm in your playlist? I always avoid anything that will be stuck in my head when I listen to stuff.
it's not that. It's the beat is a good running. It's a good running beat.
Do you have like a lot of potholes where you run?
Nope. Bum, 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 bum. It's that bass line beat is a good running mix.
Nice. Angela gave us a woohoo.
There we
Hey,
go.
Angela. Okay, we'll wrap things up. I know we ran a little late. I want to thank you all for watching this evening. And like we mentioned earlier, support local businesses. More importantly, check out the links down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Deadly Grounds Coffee is our sponsor. The best coffee you'll ever have. And call your local comic book shop. Give them a hand, see if there's maybe a run that you're missing that you want to pick up and read, or some new, not new graphic novel, but older ones. It's Alex, what's a good selection? Give me something that somebody should buy that a comic shop would most likely have.
I would recommend pick up I Hate Fairyland, where it's about a little girl who gets sucked into a portal to like an Alice in Wonderland type, deal and all that, where it's a land full of riddles and candy and all sorts of stuff, except her quest to find a way to leave leaves her there for about 30 years, but she's still trapped in an 8-year-old's body, and she kind of goes a bit insane.
Ooh.
It's an amazing, funny story about a homicidal little girl that goes on like an axe killing spree with these wonderful residents of Fairyland. And originally it was called I effing hate Fairyland, I think, because there was alternative covers that I picked up when they first came out. That or there's a lot of good ones. Depends what you want, but any recommendations? I'll say that for the week. It's a good read, and they have a big tome volume of the whole series that's bright pink.
Okay,
and it's wonderful.
Just in case they don't have a mainstream item, something
more obscure.
No. Something more. What do you got? Yeah.
Readily available.
Yes. If they don't, something they would have in stock if they didn't have it.
I'm unsure. I haven't read anything recently of other stuff just because I've been busy.
Okay, no worries. And where do you like
I
people?
guess Immortal Hulk. I don't know. Is there any?
Yeah,
Is that still going?
Yeah, Immortal Hulk still.
Yeah,
going.
go pick up Immortal Hulk. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. And where do you like people following you?
You can follow me at pure_Alex Hoy on Twitter, pure_Alex_Hoy on Instagram. I have my Patreon going on right now. I'm working right now on a passion project that I'm going to start teasing and announcing in the near future. But as of right now, this entire week, I'm uploading a lot of stuff for my personal sketchbooks and some concepts and stories that I have abandoned in the past. Not sure if I'll go back to them, but if you want to see some ideas that I've had in the past, or some team ups I almost did with a couple of people, I put them up my Patreon if you want to see like little bits of my old past stuff that I think goes back to 2016 in my sketchbook. Don't judge me on the artwork. I have gotten a lot better. I even kind of cringe when I look at it, but there's a lot of milestones you may see in them. It's pretty neat, but it's also $1. You can just give me $1 and you can check this stuff out. And I really appreciate it. It goes a long way, especially since we're dealing with all this. Anything helps. And I really appreciate, especially my Patreons and everyone else who does help out. But yeah, it's very curious. Like just yesterday, I put up a one-shot comic I almost did that didn't fall through. But if you're interested, check that out.
And we got all your links in the show notes. Yo. Certainly. Always, my friend. Give a selection that you think somebody should pick up at their local comic book shop, and where do you like people following you?
Well, like I already brought up, We Can Never Go Home. It's a really good one.
Nice.
What's it about?
Yeah, what's it about?
Two runaways. One has powers. One is just a grifter. So it's really good.
Okay.
I like to think that's just what it says verbatim on the back of the book. Oh.
No.
And where do you like people following you?
I was about to say something else, and I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
God damn. House of X? Yeah, House of X. That's a good run.
Nice.
I can recommend so many comics.
I know.
Boy Meets Phone on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Yo St. Laurent on those same social media channels. Of course, you can find me here every Wednesday. And you can find me here right now being like surrounded by cats because that's my life.
Catman. He's a cat man.
Just make sure they don't burp in your mouth and you become a cat woman. That's what I remember for that movie. Look, honestly, that movie is really fun to watch with a group of friends. Okay, that movie is perfect for riffing.
Is that Catwoman or is that Batman Returns? What was that from?
Oh my god!
Oh wow!
It's the same canonical movie. If you guys paid attention to Catwoman, there's a picture of Michelle Pfeiffer in the scene where she discovers her abilities from the old woman, who I also mention her name is Ophelia Powers, who trains Catwoman to be a cat person, and on the ground it shows Michelle Pfeiffer from Batman Returns. So it's canon. It's canon with the Burton movies. Enjoy that.
Don't say that.
So James was asking for some Tim Burton movies, and I responded, "Well, we have Batman Returns in the list." And what is your favorite Tim Burton movie, by the way, James? I meant to ask.
Pee-wee.
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 Okay. Is the list of movies I put together for you adequate?
I really just want to watch Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
I don't think many people people should talk more about Big Fish.
No,
that's on one of my short lists of really good movies I watch.
I don't know if I added that. I'll take a look.
You need to.
Oh my god! Anyway, you can
I
find
guess
me
we
at
also have another segment.
movies Leo hasn't seen.
Red and disappointing.
Yeah.
I really can't speak, but I'll talk about that next week. Anyway, you can find me in the tweets and the Instagrams at LongTimeStorm, as well as here every Wednesday on The Dorkening. But also be on the lookout for me and Jen's podcast, the Jen and James Podcast Experience. We are recording our 6th episode tomorrow. We're going to have our first guest on. So check that out. That'll be dropping Saturday morning. But if you want to get caught up on the other 5 episodes, just search the Jen, and that's GEN, and James Podcast Experience, or follow us at Jen James Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and just Google the Jen and James Podcast Experience on Facebook. And are we on thedorkening.com yet, Leo? Or
You will be. Life's been
so
crazy.
also we do have some merch. We got some stuff coming in, so we'll have some giveaways coming up soon. So tune into our episodes to see what kind of giveaways we'll have, and maybe we'll have some other guests coming on in the near future. So
nice. And graphic novel to suggest somebody to pick up.
World War Hulk, because the way Alex explained it over a year ago still has me interested in anyone. I still want to read that book.
You've never?
No, Alex went in unbelievably awesome detail on our ride back. Or was that ride to or ride back from Free Comic Book Day?
I think it was on our way too, because I remember, I think on my way back,
I went and I read some of it in Sarge's. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And Alex was literally spent an hour telling me about the plot of World War Hulk, and I'm like, oh my god! I was reading it in the comic book while they were searching and stuff. I was like, oh,
nice.
Yeah, it makes you wish where it's just the movies cannot go in that direction. It can't happen.
Nope, cannot. But a backup is any of the IDW Ghostbuster comic books.
Nice. And they have some nice compilation books that you can get as well. Yep. My suggestion, definitely Superman Secret Origin is awesome. If you're a fan of Christopher Reeves, that's, it's definitely an awesome book. Also, Superman American Alien is a really good one as well. And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff, but more importantly, follow these awesome people here. Links are down below or up above. I want to thank you all for watching. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.